Welcome to Road to the Draft. Casey Phillips here with senior writer and editor Scott Smith. And as always, this is where we talk about things going on in the world of the Buccaneers, how they might affect the draft, what they might do. And we have talked a lot about the first round. We know that's the thing that gets everybody excited. Yeah. That's all the hype.
As it should be.
As we have seen, man, the Bucs have done a great job in the second round and later, that it is not just about that first rounder. There's a lot of great talent to be had. So if you were to be a betting man right now, what would be your idea of a second round pick that would be a good value pick, kind of how it would match up needs, players available? That's always where you start really getting into that
I'm actually
debate.
well prepared for that question.
Ooh, look at that.
Because for next week's mock draft on Buccaneers.com, which we do every week, and I did one on the second round. And how do you do that? You got to know who goes in the first round. Right. So I went online and found a mock draft generator. Yes, those exist. What a world we live in. And I ran it a few times until I got one I liked, which basically meant did I like who the Bucs got, and did the first 10 seem to make sense. And so I did that. So you have your 31 picks in the first round, and then I picked for every team after that. And when we get to the Bucs at pick number 50 overall, I gave us North Dakota State tackle Cody Mauch. Now, we know we were.
I'm sorry, your mock draft?
Oh,
I had to do it.
I'm assuming his name is pronounced Mauch. Now, this is the guy.
It has to be now. So
this is the guy that's kind of famous because he got a couple teeth knocked out, and he just decided not to do anything about it. I think he got tired of. So he just has the big smile with the missing, like a hockey player.
Lineman thing. I love that.
Long flowing hair. I think he'd be good friends with O'Keefe, probably. Like kindred spirits. This guy, there's a lot of good tackle depth in the league, in the draft this year. And what is particularly good about Cody Mauch of North Dakota State is that he's very good blocking on the run, on the move. And with our new offensive coordinator, Dave Canales, apparently we're going to see a lot more outside zone type running, where the guys basically two or three offensive linemen are moving in the same direction in tandem to create double teams, and the back chooses the gap. And so they need to be good blocking on the move, and he's very good at that. So that's why I thought this could be a good player for the Bucs, who may be looking for a new right tackle if Tristan Wirfs moves to left.
I do think also the fact that they're picking 19th in the first round, there's so much there about what's there and what's not at 19 to then decide what you might want to use your second rounder on.
So in this particular mock, we got Nolan Smith, the edge rusher from Georgia, in the first round. That's why I went offensive tackle in the second round. If we had taken like Darnell Wright in the first round, then I would have gone probably an edge rusher in the second round.
And so who would that be in your mind? That we know edge rusher is something that is one of those where, tackle and edge rusher are definitely two of the positions.
Premium positions.
That you can see that are premium in the draft and would probably be premium to the Buccaneers.
And this particular draft has a couple guys like Will Anderson and Tyree Wilson, I think, that are very highly ranked and probably going in the top 10. But it's hard to get good edge rushers without using a premium pick on it, so you don't often find them in the second and third round, but there's good depth in this year's draft at that position that a lot of teams are going to be taking them in the second round. And a guy that fell to me, I think, in some of the mock drafts I see at pick number 50 is LSU's B.J. Ojulari. Now, if this guy were a fully formed, great pass rushing prospect, he wouldn't be there at pick 50. But he's really good off the edge. He's quick. He's bendy. Look at that. See how he got around the corner on that guy real quick? That's what he's really good at. Probably needs to improve against the run and hone his pass rushing moves a little bit, but he's a guy with a lot of speed and potential. So that's a guy I could see as the Bucs taking.
I know that the Bucs have done this in a few years where they've picked several of certain positions multiple years in a row or multiple times in a draft. And we saw last year they took two tight ends. Ended up being both of them.
They played well.
They played well as rookies, but they also had Cam Brate and other people. Now you've lost Cam Brate. So even though they took two tight ends last year, do you see that being something that they could still focus on in one of those early rounds?
Yeah, 100%, because again, I'm talking about Dave Canales, the new offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, assuming he's going to do things similar to the way they did it in Seattle with Shane Waldron as their offensive coordinator. They used the 12 package, two tight end sets a lot more than the league average, like 23% of the time. And so you do have the guys we drafted last year, Cade Otton and O'Keefe. But I think O'Keefe is more of a move around fullback, H-back blocker type. For the actual two tight end sets where both guys are legitimate receiving threats, it'd be nice to add another guy, which is why I think a guy like Luke Musgrave of Oregon State, it's a very deep tight end class. So even if 4 or 5 or even 6 tight ends are already off the board, he could still be there at pick number 50. He didn't have giant pass catching numbers, basically because the COVID season kind of took away some of his playing time. He was hurt last year, but he's definitely got down, as you see on these clips, he's definitely got the ability to get downfield, to work the seams. He's a very smooth route runner. He obviously catches the ball very well. So he's a guy that could give you, with Kate Otten, who had a really nice rookie season, he could give you some really good looks in 2 tight end sets. That's why I think it's possible.
Yeah, that's going to be so interesting to watch. Again, we love that it is not just the first round, that the Bucs have done a great job in all these other rounds. So there's a lot to look forward to and a lot more to talk about on Road to the Draft. So we'll be back with another one next week.